Good day all, my name is Louisa.
And my name is Sansia.
Together we are the Development Officers for the Children in Care Council.
The cost of living has significantly increased in London. Prices have inflated, making the cost of living the highest it's ever been. Rent being a major concern as young people are more at risk of becoming homeless.
We, the Children in Care Council, have been working on a Pan-London offer to highlight the importance of unity across London. We aim to give equal opportunities for care experienced young people, so everyone has equal entitlements and opportunities across the borough. A major concern for young people has been transportation. This is a barrier that we hope to overcome. Us, the local authority, have the responsibility to face the institutionalised and systematic intersectionality. By doing this, we take on the privilege to create change and take accountability for our role within the community for our care experienced young people. TfL have agreed to give 50% of travel for care leavers. Although this is a good start, we aim to get a full 100% offer for our Pan-London offer for care experienced young people.
Transport is a major resource in London and it is used for a variety of things. Education, employment training, access to resources, and promoting social inclusion amongst young people, especially our care leavers. We have collectively collated information and we feel like these are some of the points to focus on by the end of this report. Professionals on the movement should give care experienced young people the opportunity to have freedom to travel, to ensure they have a brighter future. Whether it's to go to a job, access to services, or simply for socialising, regardless of their circumstances. Inflation is now running at its highest of 9%, and salary and benefits are not keeping on track of the cost of living, such as the average energy bill rising to about £4,000 by January 2023.
Another area I would like to highlight is the importance of mental health and how being isolated and unable to travel freely can affect you psychologically and physically. COVID-19 was a reflective time for all of us. Care leavers were faced with the perpetuated challenges, their resources were limited, services become more inaccessible, and meetings were virtual. Young people found their anxiety and depression rate had increased. The 2-year drag of being isolated and resources being inconsistent, young people were, in some instances, choosing travel over food, as they did not have enough money to seek out for additional help from family and friends. Young people are put at a disadvantage when applying for low-paid apprenticeships and jobs because the cost of living is not reflecting rent and utility bills, amongst other barriers. This is causing a mental health phenomenon and limiting young people to reach their full potential.
Mental health and transport are interlocked and becomes a catch-22 as young people's health are impacted by the lack of access to travel and gain services and opportunities within the London communities. Now, with the cost of living increasing, young people are having to make a drastic decision about life, such as whether to choose between housing and having food to eat. Transport just adds another pressure on young people. It's time to change.
And change will come, but for change to come, we must first take accountability for what we allow our young people to experience. Would you let your child suffer knowing you can help? I think not. This is the harsh reality for some of our young people. We as corporate parents have a duty of care, legally and morally, to take care of the next generation and to break the barriers and stigmas attached to young people with care experience. We have taken the liberty to invite some of our young people and their voices to give insight on the challenges that they are faced due to the cost of living. So today we're going to be focused on the cost of living and how it's affecting our care experienced young people. Why the focus on care leavers?
We hope that there's always been a focus on care leavers because, most of our children who come into the care system who then become care leavers as they get to 16, 17, 18, are usually estranged from their parents. So there's something about ensuring that we've got the best offer for young people who come into our care system. And we've got a lot of work to do. The bits that I remember when I left care, I suppose, are the same things that young people face today. And that's the bit that we've really got to focus on. The cost of living has exasperated many stuff, but there's local stuff that we should be doing, and we don't do enough of that.
I've had to restrict myself quite a lot with certain things that I want to do. because not having a lot of finances.
I'm struggling to find money. I have to choose between having the heating in my house, food for myself, or electricity to pay the bills. I'm finding it extremely hard.
Everyday essentials that you need, especially, toiletries, food. And I know having a big family, looking after kids, it is 10 times worse.
In terms of the cost of just having a baby, all the stuff that she needs, and constantly growing every month, every other week I've got to buy new clothes.
Looking after your children, taking them to school and having to provide for that alone, and then making sure there's food on the table, and then making sure bills are paid. So the government funding as well, I know it's helped in ways, even though you might be working but still be eligible. Like being on UC, it still doesn't help that much, because the same way it comes in, it goes fast. Not being able to go out that much, it has impacted my mental health quite a lot, especially with my depression and my anxiety. Even though you can walk, at times I don't feel that comfortable, and especially being anemic, so I can't walk too far. The area that I live in as well, it's not that safe, so I kind of avoid going out that much unless I have a reason.
Even moving around on the bus, transportation is not easy as well. I'm also disabled. I've got multiple sclerosis, so it's extremely hard for me. I feel unhappy. I feel very depressed. I've got anxiety through the roof. I'll go to the local councils. I call Citizen Advice Bureau, but it's no help. Everyone's saying, call this helpline, call this number. But when I'm calling, it's just ringing. No one's picking up the phone. Everyone's just trying to attach me to another organisation, but my problem is still staying the same, or it's just getting bigger.
I think in terms of just being able to just go where I need to go to without having to think about the cost of it, with that being a barrier to me accessing services.
I think the Pan-London offer would help with the free prescriptions, because I don't have any money to buy prescriptions, and I'm even at risk of COVID. Leaving the house it's a lot, but I think the Pan-London offer, it will definitely alleviate a lot of stress that I'm going through.
Cost of living has impacted me quite a lot, especially when it's come to housing, because I'm a care leaver, and even trying to get housing for myself has been a struggle. Work as well, I'm on UC, so if I started working, I have to make sure that I'm making enough to pay for my rent, pay for my bills, and make sure I've got enough to live on. I'm in a housing association right now, and it has been a complete nightmare. I'm living with 5 people, so imagine 5 people in a house, and there's no living room, and we have 5 fridges, so the kitchen is literally packed, 1 cupboard each for us, so that's a struggle. I use transport because I used to work as a youth leader, but right now I've had to step back because I had an injury. But usually I'll be going to work if I need to go into the office, and also just to kind of see family members, my everyday shopping, and because I also help my dad out with things as well.
I think for me, I would say that I drive, but the prices of fuel is ridiculous. But I have to travel to work through TfL because I work in the city, so driving is not an option. Obviously, the prices of TfL is also a bit mad.
For 1 day bus travel, it's around £5 to £6. So that's not cheap. And then if you're getting on trains as well, that's even more. With transport, I've had to kind of be a bit restricted and think about my money. Do I have enough to put on my oyster? Do I have enough to get to A to B? Sometimes I just end up staying at home because I'm going to end up being short.
I try and work from home more now to save that money. So for example, if I go for a month of going into the office versus a month of staying at home, the money that I save is mad.
Because there's been times where even if I ain't got money, I've had to try and ask the bus driver, can I get on the bus? I've lost my oyster, or I ain't got enough money, and it don't always work. So it's a bit embarrassing. I try to avoid doing things like that. So I'll just stay at home, because no one really wants to go through things like that. I do want to go and do things. I want to do activities, but I don't have money to do that.
I don't know if you know, but TfL are offering young people with care experience 50% off travel, which is great, but would like to see better and get 100% off travel, especially with the cost of living going up. So that's something to look forward to.
It will benefit me a lot. I'll be able to get around more and go out more and meet my friends and not think about, I want to go out today, but do I have enough money?
I wouldn't feel the stress or the burden of having to work out if I can travel to and fro different places. I'd go out more. I think the issue comes in with the fact that things like your food bills, water, gas, electric, etc., those things are constantly increasing, whereas your wages will either be capped or the increase will be irrelevant because of inflation. A lot of jobs, like say for example, if you go to uni and you go into like the business world, a lot of jobs are based in the city. Mm-hmm. So if you can't afford to travel into the city consistently, then that is obviously a barrier that could be removed.
I think the Pan London offer offers so many things in different situations or different sections. It'll be so much easier to have access to more help. I feel like a load will be taken off my shoulders. The Pan London offer understands exactly what care experience and disabled people go through.
By agreeing to the Pan London offer, it's effective and it would help all care experience young people like myself.
Accepting the Pan London offer, because I do feel it's very important, and we do have a lot of restrictions to certain support needed, especially around financial help, not being able to see family members if they're in education too.
The key bit to the cost of living crisis, alongside everything else, is that we've got to create opportunities for young people before they leave care. We've got to get them ready. We shouldn't be encouraging young people to get ready to claim universal credit. You know, we shouldn't be saying to young people 28 days before your 18th birthday, let's get you signed up for universal credit. What we should be saying to them when they're 16 and 17 is, you can come and work in the family business, in the local authority. We've got one of our local partners, a business partner who we're working with. If you want to be a mechanic, if you want to be a plumber, if you want to be a hairdresser, a nail technician, or whatever it is. But we just don't do enough of that sort of stuff. There's not enough of that, and we've got to join up a little bit more. Relationships are only as good as the person that provides the relationship, I suppose. And if you're coming into the relationship and it's very structured and it's about process driven and about policy and stuff, then the relationship isn't going to happen. You know, through a cost of living crisis, equally more important to be really aware of what the needs of the young people are. We've really got to make sure that young people are confident to be able to have a relationship with their personal advisor all the way up to at least 25 and beyond. But there's many young people who have fallen out with their local authority, don't get on with the local authority, don't see them as additional support. So what we have to then do is to make sure that other government departments that are around young people, like Department of Work and Pensions, the Housing Department, Health, we've got to make sure that the partners fully understand what the corporate parenting responsibilities are, what it means for them to support the young people. At the moment, it feels as though that's a tension between the system and what we've got nationally, and young people are not there yet. I think that's the key bit, is to coordinate those services. If you haven't got a clear and consistent local offer, then young people have got no idea what they're entitled to. Absolutely nothing.
Now we have considered all the facts and injustice young people face, would I be right in saying that we do care and we want change? Let's take the necessary steps and begin with every journey matters, especially when your care experience.